Hey guys, we are going to be talking over the next couple weeks. We're going to be going over the rules for using commas in writing. So this week we are going to focus on one of the comma rules, and we're going to be focusing on how and when to use commas in a series. Now with that, we are going to be looking at some examples of using commas with multiple adjectives, because sometimes the sentence will provide you with a list of adjectives to describe something. So it's going to be very similar to commas in a series. So when we talk about a series, follow along with me here. A series is at least 3 items listed in a sentence in a row. The items can be words, phrases, or clauses. Commas are used to separate them. So let's look at this example sentence. I must clean the kitchen, comma, the bathroom, comma, and the family room this weekend. So I have a list of things that I need to get done this weekend. Now, if you notice, I have 1, 2, 3 items in my list, but I only have 2 commas. That is because when we use commas in a series, you never, ever, ever put a comma behind the conjunction word, always in front. So what I always like to tell my students, if you have 3 items in the list, you need 2 commas. 4 items in the list, 3 commas. 5 items in the list, 4 commas, and so on. You're always going to need 1 less comma than you have number of words in your list for your sentence. So now if you follow me down to about right here, this is where we're looking at using commas when there are adjectives being used to describe something in the sentence. So it says when more than 1 adjective is used to describe a noun, they are separated by commas. The sweet, comma, cool apple tasted good on the hot day. So I've got 2 adjectives here, so I'm using 1 comma to separate it. Now I could say the sweet, cool, red apple tasted good on that hot day. And then if I had 3 adjectives in the sentence, I would separate them with 2 commas, just as I did in my list in this sentence above. So now let's just identify comma rules here. So we're looking at 1 and 4. Number 1 says the soft, sweet, loving kitten purred. Well, in this sentence, I've got 1, 2, 3 adjectives separated by 2 commas. So this would be an example of commas separating adjectives, but it's very much like items in a list, because I'm giving you a list of adjectives to describe that kitten. And then look down here at number 4. I worked out on the treadmill, bike, and elliptical cycle. So I have 3 items in my list: treadmill, bike, elliptical cycle, and I have 2 commas. So this would be items in a list or items in a series. So looking down at the ones below, we're looking at 7 and 8. The sweet, juicy, ripe peaches were perfect. So I have 3 adjectives here and 2 commas used to describe the noun peaches. So this is going to be commas separating adjectives, but again, it is like a list. It's a list of words we use to describe. And then number 8, the tennis players grabbed their towels, bags, and balls on their way off the court. So they're grabbing 3 items, and we separate those 3 items with 2 commas. So this is another example of commas in a series or items in a series. All right, so let's look at another practice example. And we are going to focus on number 1 and number 5. So for number 1, it says John wanted pasta, vegetables, and rolls for dinner. So this is an example of commas in a series or items in a series. So the first thing we want to do is look at how many items are in this list or this series. So John wants something. He wants pasta, vegetables, and rolls. So there are 3 items in my list, 3 items in my series, which tells me I'm going to need 2 commas. So I'm going to put 1 comma behind pasta and 1 comma behind vegetables. Remember, never, ever, ever put a comma behind your conjunction word. And then the last example, number 5, Keith had to do his homework, eat dinner, and take out the trash. So this is another example of items in a series. or items in a list. So we need to look at how many things Keith has to do. So he has to do his homework, eat dinner, and take out the trash. So there are 3 things that he has to do. So that tells me I need 2 commas. So I'm going to put a comma behind homework and behind dinner. And again, never ever put that comma behind your conjunction word. So now what I want you to do at home, at the bottom of your practice sheet, is giving you an opportunity to write your own sentences. So on the bottom, what I want you to do here at home is I want you to practice writing 5 sentences where you have items in a list or items in a series, and make sure if you have 3 items, 2 commas, 4 items, 3 commas, and so on. And also, never, ever, I'm going to write this on here as a reminder before you practice this at home, never put a comma behind the conjunction. All right, guys, good luck with your sentences, and until next time.